So now I want to talk about what's going to invalidate a trade. So if we see these things, we do not take the trade. Now let's start off with the last thing that we were talking about. So we entered this trade and it was a losing trade right here. We had everything right, but we still lost the trade. Now, of course, losses are going to be part of the game, but we want to see why we lost if there is a reason. Now, the reason for this case was we traded way too late. It's 12 p.m. The market is about to close in an hour. We should not be taking a trade. If you want to trade Tokyo session, that's fine, but you need to wait a couple hours into Tokyo to trade, right? We're not trading at 12 to 3 p.m., right? That's not what we're doing. So if it's 12 o'clock, don't take the trade. That's one thing that invalidates the trade, the time. We want it to be over here, right? Before 12 is fine. So let's look at this trade. We have equal highs right here. Equal highs right here. Price comes, takes this, right? Everything looks good. We have our trend line right here, right? We would enter on this candle. It's a beautiful candle. We win, right? It looks good. But let's say we're about to take this trade, we enter, price comes down to here, and we notice right here, we had equal lows right here, right? So while we're in a trade, we get equal lows formed. So let me delete this so it's not too confusing. So we're in this trade, equal lows form, right? If you can draw a trend line right here, right, I would be worried about this trade. As soon as it broke this trend line, I would want to get out the trade, right? Because now the setup is invalid because there's one going against us. So since there's a setup going against us, the setup usually plays out, right? It's a high win rate strategy. So if there's a setup against us, it's most likely going to fly and hit our stop loss. So this invalidates it, right? So as soon as it broke it, I'm taking my money right here. As soon as it broke it and closed, we would have been stopped out by trailing stop loss anyway, so that's why that's in place. But we're not forcing a trade if there's a setup against us. You have to be ready to quit. So even when you're in a trade, just keep in mind, you know what, if a setup forms against me, I should be looking out for it, right? Or you could just let your trailing stop loss do it. But maybe your trailing stop loss hasn't kicked in yet. Maybe we haven't hit a 1 or 3. Maybe we're at a 1 or 2 or 1 or 2.5, and then a setup forms against us. Well, we need to cut that trade and look to take the next setup. And let me show you, right? So the next thing is what invalidates the setup. So if we get a breakout, right, we're looking to take this buy. We had the equal lows taken, trend line, it broke. Got a nice candle close, but we have a wick at the bottom. Now this invalidates the sniper entry signal, so we're not taking this trade. We're not taking this trade right here because you would have lost because this wick at the bottom, right? It's very risky to enter. Now if you want to enter, go ahead, but me, I'm not entering with this wick. It'd be very rare when I do. Right, it would have to be like a very strong push or something, bro. Like, I do not like this wick. I'm not entering with this wick right here. And you can see you lost. And most of this whole course, when I showed a big wick at the bottom, we lost. So don't enter when you see this wick. It invalidates it. So because of this wick, we're not entering this trade. So what we would do instead is wait for another candle to form, which it didn't form. It actually came down and broke this. We would look for another setup. So now if you see right here, we have equal lows right here. So since we have equal lows right here, we got a whole nother setup. Candles close below. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. Same thing. Trend line. We got the signal that we want right here. Sniper entry signal. Now we hit our 1 and 2, right? 1 and 2 is not great, but this candle is so big and looks so good that we could have put this halfway. And there we go. Now we got a 1 and 6, right? We put it halfway on the huge candles that look good with no wick at the bottom. So when you see a break of the trend line with a wick at the bottom, we're not taking it. It makes the setup invalid. Let's go look for some more examples. Okay, look at this setup right here. Some people might count this as equal highs, but it's not. Why? Because these candles and these candles are not equal. This is way above, right? Even if we put this down, right, this is below. This candle's not even touching the line. So this is not an equal high. We're not counting that, right? That could really mess you up. If you start taking trades that are close to being equal highs and lows, but they're not, you're going to start losing. Prime example. Let's say you drew that up, candle close below, you put the thing right here, enter on this candle, right? You're losing instantly. Why? Because these weren't correct equal highs. They have to be matching. So those are all the things that could invalidate a trade. So make sure you write these things down and look out for them while you're trading. Let's get into the next section.